As a business leader, you've heard that with AI, there are whole swaths of your staff that you will no longer need. Writers, coders, analysts, and on, that you will have to rethink the people you'll need to succeed. And you need to do it now. Our research suggests that rather than thinking about what jobs will be lost to AI, consider what work needs to be done. What if the more strategic view is how to use AI to make us better, more creative, and more productive? This is Think Again, the Gartner Original Series that explores breakthrough trends and reveals new ways to think about the future. We start with Gartner Distinguished VP Analyst Mary Misaglio. Mary, help us out. Talk about AI is everywhere. How should we be thinking about it?
I think everybody thinks of AI primarily as a technology or a set of technologies, and that's not really right. Just in the age of the computer, so, not cavemen and cudgels, but just say the last 50 years, we've thought of the machine more as a tool, a supercomputer, a calculator, an information provider. But as we enter this new age of AI, I think it's more useful for us to think of the machine as our teammate. And that's a really profound shift in how humans and machines interact. I think the attitude to strike here is that AI shouldn't be hyped, but it shouldn't be underestimated either.
Let's start with the elephant in the room. What about all the talk about AI replacing people?
Are we facing an AI jobs apocalypse? So are we all gonna have to retrain as hairdressers and burger flippers and dog trainers, and those are the jobs that are safe, and the robots are coming for everything else? And the answer to that is no. Why? Well, Gartner predicts that through 2026, the impact of AI on jobs will be neutral. So that's not to say no jobs will be lost. Of course, jobs will be lost like in any big technology shift. But I think a more useful way to think about AI and jobs is not so much to ask which jobs will be lost, but to look at your industry and ask what work needs to be done. Teachers aren't able to serve their students as well as they would like to. And doctors aren't able to serve their patients as well as they would like to. And manufacturers would like to come up with safer, newer, more innovative products and manufacturing processes, etc. And so if you look at it through what work needs to be done, there'll be a commensurate increase in new jobs.
That's, well, a relief. How will it impact the future, especially for the enterprise? Gartner fellow Frank Buitendijk walks us through what he sees as the real opportunity for the enterprise.
You really have to take the long view here. The opportunity will actually change over time, and we see 3 stages in that. In the first stage, and that's where we are right now, AI really is a partner that can help us get more done and do that a little bit more consistently. AI really provides the opportunity here to become more productive in consistency in the roles that we have. AI essentially is an assistant and you're in charge. And in the second stage, we see AI move from being a partner to be an active creator, bringing forward new insights, new models, new capabilities. And this is where AI is able to simulate massive quantities of models and data to just create new human scenarios or physical scenarios or business scenarios to enable AI to accelerate beyond human capability. Think, for instance, in new drug discovery, and AI can help with everything from chemical interaction to drug interactions to patient reactions and go towards personalized medication. And in the third stage, it becomes a little bit more futuristic, and this is where things get really interesting. Here we see AI move from being a partner and a creator to becoming more of an actor. And this is really a big step, because we, as a society and as a business, we haven't really figured out what this means practically, legally, and socially.
Gartner Vice President and Analyst Helen Poitevin takes AI as an actor one step further.
When AI is an actor, it will have already supplanted much of the work that we will do, but probably not in the ways that you would expect, because it will also be creating new jobs that probably take bits and parts of those old jobs. This boils down to getting really creative about how we deliver goods and services using AI. Humans are creatives, and AI is not doing all of the work. We also get a lot of value from doing the work. In parallel, people will augment AI's capability, creating new jobs, while helping AI applications take on the tasks they can't do on its own. That is why we anticipate that by 2036, AI solutions will result in over 500 million net new human jobs.
So, how do you get ready? Here are 3 things you can do right now. The first is to understand that AI will be a great way to replace the drudgery of many employees' work life. And once you replace the drudgery work, you can also redesign the original role and hopefully increase the impact. The second is to take an active role in making sure AI brings positive changes to people and their work by using a set of guiding principles and security measures and constantly monitoring for unintended consequences. And the third is to set up initiatives where teams share and test their best ideas for AI, designed to benefit multiple stakeholders: employees, customers, communities, investors. Implement the best ones. So, what's next Beyond? Tune in to Think Again for more deep dives on what the future may or may not be.